Welcome, curious minds, to a world of knowledge and discovery. Thank you for choosing our video on sociology in Japan. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Sociology is the methodological and scientific study of human society. It studies the social interactions between a person and society as well as the social patterns between societies, groups, nations, institutions, and so on. Sociologists research the relationships between social structures and human lives. They also aim to solve the corresponding social issues revealed from the researches. Sociology in Japan, or Shakai-Ishikiron social consciousness studies, emerged during the Meiji Revolution 1868 and developed with the establishment of the first chair of sociology at Tokyo University in 1893. It has been integrated into the educational system of Japan as a result of modernization and has been largely influenced by Western sociology. Get ready for an exciting exploration as we unravel the mysteries of origin. The general recognition of sociology in Japan can be dated to the Meiji Revolution of 1868. At that time, the revolution influenced the modernization progress of Japan and created changes to both the social and political structures of the nation. The sociology of Herbert Spencer was first introduced to Japan with the arrival of Ernest Fenollosa, a visiting professor of philosophy and political economy at Tokyo University. This and the subsequent creation of the first chair of sociology led by Tomomichi are milestones in establishing Japanese sociology. Take Tongo was the first chair of sociology at Tokyo University, which was then called the Tokyo Imperial University. His work of General Principles of Sociology was the first systematic work on sociology in Japan and imposed great influence on the study's future development. In this section, we'll be deep diving into development, unraveling its complexities and uncovering valuable insights. The development of sociology in Japan can be generally categorized into 4 stages based on the various social, cultural structures and national policies at different stages of time. As we enter this new phase, let's uncover the impact of Stage 1, pre-World War II, on our broader topic. Stage 1, pre-World War II. Japanese sociology at its initial stage focused primarily on philosophical orientations and was largely influenced by sociological theories from Europe. Sociology was first taught at Tokyo University in 1878 by Fenollosa, who was at that time a visiting professor of philosophy and political economy. 3 years later, he was accompanied by Masakazu Toyama, who afterwards became the first official sociology professor in Japan and was awarded the title of the founder of Japanese sociology. Both Fenollosa and Masakazu were promoters of Herbert Spencer's sociological theory, which made Spencer's works significantly important to Japanese sociology in the early years. Other Western sociological theories were introduced to Japan during the late ERS and early ERS, including those by Ryuichi Endo, Emil Durkheim, and Franklin Giddings. The Japan Institute of Sociology was established in 1913 by Tombo Take and was replaced by the Japan Sociological Society in 1924. Until World War II, sociology study in Japan was largely influenced by Western theories and in particular the German school. Get ready for a captivating exploration as we unravel the layers of Stage 2, post-World War II ERS and their profound significance. Stage 2, post-World War II ERS. The second stage of the development of Japanese sociology was symbolized by a transition of emphasis from philosophical orientations to empirical orientations. The American School of Sociology studies cast great influence upon the development of Japanese sociology during this stage of time. Social and political reform took place with the U.S. occupation of Japan at the end of WWII. The traditional Japanese value system collapsed and the new idea of democratization emerged. Sociology came into the public vision with the revision of values. During the ERS, as part of educational system reform, sociology formally became a required subject of general studies in tertiary education in Japan. An increasing number of sociologists were needed with more sociology departments and progress established. American sociological theories started to gain attention during this fast-developing period of Japanese sociology. The U.S. occupation helped the spread of American sociological theories in Japan. At that point of time, the American sociologists were particularly emphasizing empirical studies, and this ultimately led to the same transition towards empirical research methods in Japanese sociology. Two of the leading Japanese sociologists at that time were Togashi Fukutake and Kunio Odoka. While they researched in different fields, Fukutake studying in rural sociology and Odoka studying in industrial sociology, they were both leading empirical sociologists conducting a large number of research-based surveys. Let's now shift gears and explore Stage 3, diversification research through a critical lens, uncovering its strengths and weaknesses. Stage 3, diversification research. The third stage of development of Japanese sociology started during the ERS. This stage of development is characterized by its various emphasis of studies. Both empirical orientation as well as philosophical and theoretical orientation were popular among the Japanese sociologists. Changes in social structures were witnessed by the senior sociologists during the post-war stage. Yet these senior sociologists mainly belonged to a pre-war academic circle. Younger Japanese sociologists during this period tend to focus more on theoretical microsociological analysis than the macro-analysis. Multi-dimensional paradigms started to gain attention within Japanese sociology, including those of Alfred Schutz, Anthony Giddens, Jürgen Habermas, and Pierre Bourdieu. The American influence and empirical approach continued to develop in Japanese sociology, which consequently contributed to the rising of many new and diverse topics of study. This stage saw the emergence of leading scholars including Ichi Isamura in urban sociology, Kiyomi Morioka in the religion and family sociology, Akira Takahashi in social movements, Joji Watanuki in political sociology, and Tamato Yoshida in social communication. The diversification was later accelerated by other social factors such as industrialization in the ERS and environmental and feminist movements in the ERS. From this point onwards, sociology in Japan continued to grow at a remarkable rate. By the ERS, the number of sociologists teaching at colleges reached about 1,000, and the number of members of the Japan Sociological Society increased up to 3,034 in 1999. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Stage 4, globalization as a present, and exploring its implications in greater detail. Stage 4, globalization as a present. The fourth stage of development of Japanese sociology began from the ERS. From then until the present times, there has been a movement toward theoretical and empirical orientations, with increasing international and foreign studies as well as cooperation with global communities. Research conducted in 1998 by the Japan Sociologists Society examined the preferred field of research of its members. The top 10 preferred fields were % chose general sociological theories, 15.2% chose sociology of the family, 15.1% chose communications and information, 14.7% chose social thought and the history of sociology, 14.3% chose social welfare, social security, and medical sociology, 13.6% chose culture, religion, and morality, 13.1% chose social psychology and social attitude, 12.2% chose rural sociology and community studies, 11.3% chose cross-national and foreign area studies. The same study was conducted 10 years earlier in 1988. The difference in the results obtained showed that industry, labor, and educational problems had lost popularity, whereas communications, information, psychology, and foreign studies gained attention during the ERS. The general trend of globalization of the nation is responsible for such transition of popular study fields. While the language barrier and a lack of coordination with foreign research institutions have made the Japanese Sociologists Society lack a reputation in other parts of the world, globalization has created an increasing number of opportunities for Japanese sociologists to study abroad and welcomed foreign cooperations and coordination. Sociology in Japan became more internationalist during this stage of development. Brace yourself for a deep dive into social problems in Japan as we explore its impact and relevance in our evolving narrative. In a perfectly harmonious society, sociologists research the patterns and rules of social interactions and relations. However, such studies are not enough in contemporary societies as social problems exist. Research findings are necessarily used to further aid the investigations of existing and emerging social problems. In 1985, the Japanese Association for the Study of Social Problems was established and brought increasing attention to the topic. Several major social problems are introduced and explained below. Brace yourselves for the next chapter, where we'll be dissecting juvenile crime. More concerns have been placed on criminal news reports in recent times in Japan, especially on juvenile crime. In 1997, an incident involving a severed head being hanged on the gate of a junior high school was widely reported in media, attracting attention from the community. It was found to be committed by a 15-year-old boy, and the crime shocked Japanese society. Youth bullying has come to the attention of sociologists, and juvenile crime has been a social problem. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore discrimination through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. The caste system has a significant influence on Japanese history. During the 260 years of Tokugawa period, the caste system ranked the Japanese population according to their occupation, with warrior being the highest, followed by peasants, craftsmen, and merchants. Outcasts, people with occupation beneath merchants, were deemed to be not respectable in the community. In 1868, the Meiji Revolution established the rule of equality as a social discipline, and laws have been created since then. However, although the influence of the caste system has been diminished, discrimination remains and has become a social problem. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of suicide and its fascinating intricacies. From research statistics obtained during, on average, about twice the number of deaths in car accidents results from suicide in Japan, with the peak number reaching 23,832 deaths in 1987. At that time, however, suicide was not recognized as significant as the car accident deaths. As the social problem of suicide gained increasing attention, sociologists emphasized that suicide cannot be considered alone and apart from law, morality, and other social factors. Problems such as depopulation is largely influenced by the issue of suicide. In the upcoming section, we'll be shining a light on aging population. The population of Japan is expected to decrease by 1/3 during the next 50 years, with about 40% of the remaining population being over 64 years old, a trend of the aging of Japan. Financial burden and caring responsibilities are increasing for the future working generations. At the same time, a crisis is faced by Japanese universities as the young population shrinks. The number of 18-year-old people was expected to decrease from 2,050,000 in 1992 to 1,200,000 in 2007 and continue downwards. In 2000, 60% of the colleges were already unable to recruit enough students. The aging population situation has created various social problems. If you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to drop them in the comment section.